I'm in my private panic safely room, which is what I'm doing at the best that I can. I'm thinking about DVTs, like deep vein thrombosis, because I was having a pain on the back of my leg. I can tell right here the section of my knee is swollen, indicative of and consistent with the malrhythmic inflation and the barometric pressure of arterial and venous venule flow throughout my own personal persona body machina, my body. As I walk, I'm showing signs of harm being done on a daily basis, which is what I'm documenting on. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so now if pressure in the atmosphere and pressure at ground control is supposed to be represented by a sphere, and then there's some form of cubit, which I have represented something like this, outside of the sphere, where the sphere hangs somewhere in the center, and the cubit keeps the shape of the sphere, so it is healthy in a multi-tiered spherical system. You have the ground ball with the land masses, which is represented by the globe. Then you have an outer ionosphere, which is representative of the double compression system that not only holds the water to the floor all the way around, but also keeps pressure and everything tuned in properly over here. Okay, so now if the symmetry is off, now by sim, S-I-M, it's the computer matrix of the outer galaxy part that's broken, which I say in volcanology, that is causing. So if this galaxy part is broken, between the relation between the sphere and the outer cubit, if that mechanic is off and it is forming a structure that no longer looks like a perfect sphere inside a cube, it is now looking more like a artichoke, the vegetable artichoke, where it has these leaves, these long leaves. It has a heart in the center, and then it has they're almost like vents, like a multi-tiered and multi-vented system, where air and vibration can get in and out. I know that when they come off the stalk, they're almost impenetrable, harder to eat. Usually they have to steam them in a compression steam pot in order to flay and have the leaves open up. Flay is more indicative of knife. So it opens the petals. They're petals, Pedals, on an artichoke, which is then becomes like almost a vented, Vented system. I really feel like the medical situation I'm in every day in this AMA to CDC relation, where they're just statisticians collecting information. I don't really know what more than that they do, while time and space is broken. And there are people who know about the 505 IET and the SOVIET that need addressing in a proper formality, but have gone completely ignored. in care, health, welfare, social etiquette, the whole nine's been totally just cast aside like it didn't matter, while the sphere inside this cubit is being warped and manipulated into almost an artichoke feature. I'm trying to use words and props, props, that are natural, that even though like artichokes don't grow naturally in my Bayside station, Bayside, New York, I have felt, I have touched, I have tasted an artichoke before. I have been able to study its signature model, and it is probably the best fit at the moment for speaking on, and this in shape for the sphere would be a Brussels sprout. A Brussels sprout, even when it's steamed, it still holds its sphere shape, but when we're speaking on artichoke, when it steams, its petals open, and make it easier to pick off, and then consume. So it is a mixture of, we were on a Brussels sprout type feature inside a galaxy that was holding the Brussels sprout feature in a sphere when it was terra firma and correct. And then it's been by wiffle ball tournaments, it feels like. It's the only way I could say things without saying things, to wiffle ball tournament, which is a ball that has holes in it, like perforated holes. I attune that somewhat to astronauts and their love of everything not on the ground, who have not been taking care of the necessary things, and then trying to throw like coin and fun game to play dangerous elsewhere, and distract the humans. So, at least in my section, that's what they've been doing. I don't know elsewhere. But for me, it's more like we're somewhere between a Brussels sprout shape, which is a natural prop that grows in gardens that are not necessarily indigenous to Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361, but have been brought into and introduced into the area by the produce at the local grocery, and the grocery market. So that's where I've picked up on that piece of prop and intelligence of being able to thread and loom together a higher linguistical prowess and construct for explaining my cognitive dissonance into a cognitive awareness and into a cognitive communicative piece, because I don't know if this artichoke situation that I'm currently in, I don't have access to these calculations of tetra in qubit that are affecting the Brussels sprout or the sphere that is pulling it into an artichoke type shape of vented petals opening, but I can feel that the petal, if one of the petals is labeled State of New York, or the State of Queens County, or the State of Long Island with Queens and Brooklyn upon it, I can feel the vibrations, the electrical coming through my ground, terra firma being the ground, and my knees are showing signs of electrical signaling shock, sending swelling in the area to try to preserve the knee ligaments and things. There's a whole autonomic central nervous system that triggers different inflammatory responses based on, and not that that always works either, but based on the damage being received by the intramural or the interaction of the body machina while in the environment. So I don't know, there's in this neighborhood and in what I've been exposed to as far as governance or as far as protocols or security issues, they say that if you have an emergency, like somebody's trying to hurt you, call 911, but that's for dispatch of another human that might be on the same education level as you. And sometimes when you try to explain these things, then they try to label you in their ignorance and their level of human education that has been stunted. And then it becomes a dangerous situation of guerrilla medical warfare, and some challenge and complication system that I don't want to take part in. Never did. So that's been a problem in my isolation since I've been left here and just trying to gather myself and some field observations to explain my personal medical issue and see if perhaps by my private YouTube channel being allowed to some form of public, which I'm hoping is stunted because I really don't need like a million viewers. I really just need like the top 12 majestics to say, yep, she belongs to so and why don't we help them out? And then I can get to a healthier ministry and do whatever it is that needs to be done at that point. All of a sudden, Alexa is blinking. I don't know what yellow means. I don't know if that's an uninvited listening device piece. Not quite sure. Star 1978, star 8378. Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And it is Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. And I'm going to label this as the Artichoke piece.